Yo, the thing goes
What bird has the most elaborate, the most complex, the most beautiful song in the world?
Yo, God, the thing goes skitty keep pop pop, and the poop poop boom, skia, boom boom. You done know, big shock. Yo, yeah. All right.
Yeah. All right, my microphone was going crack. What's happening? Welcome everybody to tonight's Plumes of Hazard. I'm Mass Blaster 9, and these are my co-hosts. We have Fubaka and the Angstful Vapor, Ishalanksa.
Sludgerbye, everyone.
Sriracha. And Sriracha Farts. And
put the bathroom back with the tinkle boom.
The thing boom, the boom. And I am happy to be back after a week of the following. That was my power during the hurricane.
People all over the world, join hands.
Yep.
That guy's name escapes me for the moment, but he was one of my favorite pieces of 30 Rock. Hilarious. Yeah. The guy just kills me.
Yeah, that was 98, 93. I don't remember when that commercial was out. Somewhere around there.
He looks exactly the same today. That guy, he's like Dick Clark. He never ages.
This guy right here.
Yeah. I think it's the same guy, isn't it? Go back to the beginning. I feel like it's the same dude.
Let's see.
If it's not, it looks just like him.
I'm sure somebody. His name tag says Jack, I think.
Oh, okay.
But you know what's great about YouTube chat that you couldn't quite do with IRC?
What's that?
Yeah.
This shit right here. Boom! I got Monday Night Football going and chat. Like I could read it.
Yeah.
Coherently.
You're focused.
Yeah. You're focused. I see Mega said his power was out till Friday. I wonder where he was at. But yeah, that's what it was. Luckily, we were okay here, but my parents and my sister just got power Friday too. So,
oh shit, is that right?
Yeah, they were staying with us. Actually, my parents didn't get it back till Saturday night. So yeah, 6 days completely without power. So that sucked.
Ice cream melted.
No, because I only lost power for about 3 minutes. So they know better than to put me in a grid that ain't gonna stay up during a hurricane.
He's got all those MOSFETs wired in series.
I was actually delivering ice for real, and I got a friend that's got a industrial ice machine that stayed up, and I took a few truckloads of ice to people. So,
that's some of the things that's the creepiest about when a disaster hits like that. I mean, obviously everybody's got the food and whatever, and everybody wants cold beer when it's hot as shit outside and power's out, whatever. But the problem is like with people that need like to refrigerate medicine and like baby breast milk and stuff. If they got little ones. Yeah, that sucks.
No, I tell you. Again, this part we got hit by Matthew last year. You guys remember, and I lost power for about 5 minutes, and that was it. But around here, people didn't lose, much power. I think our county got freaking battered by the tornado and the tornado warnings because all that shit flipping out from the water.
Yeah.
During the rain bands, but some of the things that I was reminded of, because the last time we went through this in 2004, 2003, 2004, where we got hit by 3 in a row, you know, social media and technology was not anywhere near where we're at today. And the dependency on being able to plug something in. I mean, back then, you know, I had a cell phone, but it was a freaking flip phone, you know?
Yeah.
And
we're the greatest.
yeah. And, you know, one thing that I learned is, you know, these companies nowadays, they're not prepared. Where my parents live in an area of Palm Bay and Melbourne and stuff like that. If you had AT&T, Metro, T-Mobile, or anybody else who's running on those towers, it was completely out. No service whatsoever, no text, no data, nothing. And of course, you know, the local landlines, the AT&T went down, their landlines went down, their fiber went down, the Spectrum service provider, ISP, they went down. I mean, it was dark. Like, and you know, landlines go down. I mean, nowadays people don't even have landlines anymore. And when those go down, you know, shit's getting real, because and literally that stuff was up for maybe 3 to 4 hours, you know, and I'm guessing battery backups. The only thing that was working there, and I got the same comment from people in Orlando, was Verizon. I was able to, you know, I was worried about my parents, so I drove my happy ass over there in the morning after the hurricane and checked on them, because we couldn't get a hold of them. Yeah, you know, and so just imagine that bigger. I mean, 90% of FPL customers in this county lost power and still didn't have power till not too long ago. That's a lot, and it's scary. I mean, you know, there's no other way to communicate but driving over there, or having, you know, shortwave radios or something where you can communicate with people. But it's definitely reminded me of a you know, power company don't give a shit about you. Trust me, I love the work that the linemen are doing, but the power company doesn't give one shit about where you're at. This is how they're going to restore power. So,
unless you haven't paid your bill, then they care about you a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah. Either that, or if you have solar panels, which you can't use when the power goes out. Learned that this week too. And
asshole.
You know,
that's some bullshit, man. So you got the soundboard up,
and you can.
That's some horse shit.
Yeah, and you compare the amount of money that they made in the last 12 years that they've been putting back to the grid, and half the shit failed, you know, and it's sad.
It didn't just fail; it failed and stayed failed for a week.
Yeah, it failed and stayed failed. So I also, you know, I wasn't really going to say anything in a public forum about this, but I ran into some people from. I don't want to get these guys in trouble, but from a state up north that makes great bourbon, and there was about 15 of them, and the location that we were at was, you know, it was a restaurant, and we had a water boil alert because, you know, power went out. They couldn't fucking treat the water anyways. Yeah. So I was like, hey, here's the heroes that, you know, that we deserve, you know, and the guy's like, no, not yet. And I'm like, oh, are you guys on your way to work, you know, after lunch? He's like, no, we've been sitting at the local arena where they've gathered all these people for 3 days. They haven't been dispatched anywhere because FPL had issues with their communications and telling people what to do. So these guys, so I was like, oh man, I'm like, you know, that's crazy. And he's like, yeah, he's like, we basically left and came down, and we've been sitting, you know, waiting for them to assign us. Nice. And, you know, FPL's boasting they got 22,000 people working on this, you know, down in the Keys, up here, everywhere in all of Florida. And now I understand why, you know, some of the shit is just taking a long time to get done. You know, and he goes, now don't be going to no newspaper telling them this, you know. And I was like, I don't give a shit, you know. But I said
nobody watches the show anyways.
Yeah, I know, right? But I said, I was like, so I was like, do you get paid by the job or what? He goes, man, we got paid as soon as we left our state. He goes, we've been getting paid. I'm like, fuck, man. So, yeah. I don't, you know, I'm sure it's not like that everywhere. And again, I'm very appreciative of what those guys do. But the company, you know, the shit overlords, it's bad.
Yeah.
You know, but hey, we got power, and it stayed up, and so there you go.
when Matthew was telling me about this before the show went live, that first thing that made me think of with that solar panel thing is that the rules in several states that you can't even have like a rain barrel out back and collect water to water your lawn or whatever when it's not. You can't.
I see.
There's rain from the heavens falling upon my land, and I can't have the water to save it for a day or two. It's crazy.
Yeah, I just saw Mega. He posted. He said that Duke is part of FPL down here, didn't let other states fix the problems in Largo until Thursday when they came the day after the storm. I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, but yeah, and that was another thing that I couldn't believe is you can only use generator to power the house. You cannot be off the grid with your solar panels and batteries. So I'm sure it's honestly you're left to fend for yourself, and that's kind of scary. If you didn't evacuate, or if you did evacuate and you're coming back with something without power, and again, I'm sure there's people that have it way worse down in the Keys. But even they didn't get hit with the 140 mile an hour winds that Naples got hit with, but still it's just it's mind blowing when they have the resources to do it. They just can't get the people, out there. So
budget,
but all right. Oh yeah, I see that. Oh, wrong one. Welcome, Mooch. You snuck past me, you little bastard.
Speaking of batteries,
so maybe we'll need to hit up Mooch for a citywide backup battery.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shit ton of 18650s.
Oh, I have some battery and power related news actually, but before we do that, Foo, welcome back. What are you vaping on?
Sorry, I had an unexpected visitor at the door.
Oh, all right, that's fine. Were they nice people? Was it a good visitor?
No, it was a family friend.
Oh, okay.
Dropping off food. People do that. That's awesome. Anyway, I have Stiffy, and it's got a Droga RDA that I got from one Bullabusta himself. It's got Suspicious Minds from Stash in it.
Mm.
Is it me or does Ahmed look potato?
He looks potato and he's very quiet as well.
Yeah. You need to raise your bandwidth and your voice. Quit downloadings.
I never have to change my settings, and I turn up my game a little bit better.
Well, you're still potato.
You know why? Because I have a stream running right now with the game.
Yes. All right, that's good. You ain't showing us anything on screen, anyways.
What I'm saying is that might be affecting my band. Might be eating a good bit of bandwidth because it's a 720 stream.
Maybe.
Got him.
Is that the only thing you got? Is just your Stiffy?
Yeah, that's all I'm running. I have a nice glass of rich chocolatey Ovaltine.
That is good for some.
It's got that disc on the bottom.
That is good for some loogies.
Peanut butter banana with a vape pairing. Oh my god.
You need to mute your camera for a minute.
I think shit even sound all the way over here.
Anyway,
thanks, fool.
Mate. This week I have mostly been vaping on the Freehand S, and I've got an art on top, shockingly, and not so shockingly, I got Railcracker in there. Got a Get Pissed in my build box with an extra set, and an Omen, of course, on both of those two. And then I've got look at that, I got a sticker on there. My DNA 75C beta mod. I've got the Haku on top because I'm testing something out, and we're going to talk about it in a few minutes, but not quite yet. But there actually is. I had Get Pissed in there until right before the show, and now it's Railcracker. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Nasty, got anything vaping on tonight?
Nope, not vaping on anything tonight.
All right. Skrrr. I have got something that I meant to talk about last week, and I forgot. If you were a person that likes to run unregulated mods, this is the battery you would probably like to run. This is Sony 5A. It's a good one. Like them. And the problem is they're kind of expensive. Except illumination supply. Boop, boop. I just pasted the link inside chat. Illumination supply, which they're now Illumin.com, has got these guys on sale. They're like $5 a pop, which is nice. Huh?
Which batteries?
The 5A.
They're $550, I believe. I just ordered.
Yeah. 5 and change, whatever. That I have seen them.
That's actually a really good price for Sony batteries. That's actually a really good price for Sony batteries. Or I ordered fucking 10 yesterday.
Yeah.
I got my shipping notification this morning.
Nice. That's so yeah. I definitely ordered my second quad because I've been running these stinking freehands and glooms and whatnot for the last like month. Pretty solid. I was also doing some testing on things, and I was wondering why I was running this so much between the gloom, and then when the gloom failed, I sent it back for repair, and then been using my walnut one. And I'm trying to figure out why I liked it so much, and I kind of quantified it down to the ramp up of this 27 gauge parallel that I've been running. I just like the way it ramps up. And I was like, well, how does it work on the DNA 40? So I put the same, took the Addy off of there and put it in here and cranked it all the way up. And I don't have quite enough voltage because the build's so low. It can't quite pump out quite as hot on the DNA 40, but it's actually pretty close. So I don't know. I think, that the one build that I've been running forever in our regulated builds is that, 1.7 ohm crazy build. I've been liking this parallel one more. And I think it's less the freehand and more the build. That said, of course, the freehand's really good. So
depending on what kind of mech it is, it's like a little bit of difference hitting it like on a MOSFET versus like contact based. It's like I don't know.
There's a couple of millivolt loss across the MOSFET.
But the build is fucking great regardless.
Yeah, right. It's really good.
It's smooth.
It's smooth, and there's enough wraps on there to keep it yummy, and it's not quite low enough to where it's like crazy hot, which I don't really like it. But Meganox says I just like wood in my hand. That is true. Actually, I can say that. I do like the walnut. I also like the koa. Those are woods that I like in my hand. So that's good. And also related to batteries. So I've been, whenever that was when I got this upgraded in the Gloom in month and a half ago, I've had my 5As kind of like lining along my Drobo here on the left. So sitting right next to my battery hopper. And you probably remember the old bacon battery hopper that we kind of worked to get you guys. I realized, it was an embarrassing long time. It was like a week or two ago. All of a sudden I realized I've got one of the betas sitting around. Why don't I just use that? And so now I've got two poppers, one of them with 5As and one of them with my BTC 6s and doo-doos and 30Qs and all those regulated thingies. So that's good. I kind of felt just a little foolish not remembering that I had that beta one over there.
I went through and before the Hurricane chart, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna charge my 18650s,
Yeah.
Just top them off, and I'm like, holy shit, I have a lot of 18650s. They all stack up on that thing. It's like no problem. And then you start going through them, you're like, fuck.
Am I still doing this?
Yeah. So that's 4 at a time. So anyways.
How many wraps? I've been doing in this one, and this is because it's a MOSFET to Ahmed's point. I dropped the resistance a little bit more. This is a 4.5 wrap, 3 millimeter, 27 gauge parallel, about 0.4, almost exactly 0.4. It's good.
The 5 wrap that I do comes out to like 0.51. I do it on 3 millimeter.
0.51.
Mooch says when he grows up he'll have 2 battery dispensers too. Mooch's battery dispensers probably consist of shorting the whole battery. Poof, dispensed. Adios. Get it out of here. But he's probably got He's probably got one in, that starts on one end of his shelf, and it just zigzags down, and he sits there and freaking plays Donkey Kong on it.
Wait a minute. Ed Rognes just said he can't get into the group for Gloom sales? I'm pretty sure the Limelight group is just closed, isn't it? Hold on.
Did they post some questions?
No, these kids keep changing privacy group.
Yeah.
I like the some of the questions some of these groups are putting up. It's pretty funny.
It is. I'm surprised. You're right. It is secret. It's not closed. I think they used to be just closed all the time, except for when a Gloom list was going, which is only on Mondays, and maybe that's why it's closed or secret now. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm crazy. But you're right, Ahmed. That is a thing these days. Is that groups toggle between closed and secret all the time. It's hard to keep up with it.
There's one in particular, but a couple others do it on occasion. But every so often it goes. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah. William just let me know. Will just let me know that the Bliss list is up. That's why it's secret right now. So if that's the case, then just keep checking here. I'll put the link in chat here. Just join that up. You can also later on, if you're watching this afterwards, just search for Limelight Mechanics, and then it's parentheses 18+. But Limelight Mechanics should get you where you want to go, unless there's a list running, and that they usually run that on Mondays. So there you go. Hope that helps. Let me pop back over here.
Am I still potato?
Let me click on you.
Now you're just blurry.
Exactly, you're not potato. You're just blurry. You got that soft focus thing going on the whole.
Yeah, it's like his lens has Shomamaka on it.
Are you shooting a Lifetime special?
That's what it looks like.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man, so
about a bottle. That's what it's called.
Did you say about a bottle?
Yeah.
Did you say you had something to talk about this tonight, Med, that you wanted to chat about? Is it that Addy?
Yeah. The bull buster decided he spared my balls. He spared them busting. He gave me an Addy. Simple Addy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't realize that I don't have anything that I can chuck some tits on that's also bottom fed. I realized. So we were hanging out, and he's told me he's got like a few of these, so he just gave me the one he had in his bag to play with, and I had the window open. Where are we at? On e-ciggity.
Excuse me.
Now, granted, I'm not particularly fond of this orange. Where the fuck is my focus?
Hey, you just got kind of tight there. Looks like your phone.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Huh?
Your camera wanted to show off your stiffy.
I know. Well, I have the focus. I have my. I'm doing the manual focus right now.
Mm.
All right. So this is the stiffy, right? Okay. We're focusing on the Addy. Got a very daredevilish logo.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Murdock is not orange though.
No.
Not particularly fond of this. Whatever. This is for.
It's like it's got gobs of air available.
Function.
Yeah. It's like the whole.
Well, yeah. Look how far I have this shit closed off.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like half of that. It's like they just, hey, how are we gonna add airflow? Just indent cut sides, done. Yeah, the whole side of the freaking thing is airflow.
Make it bigger.
You can't even close it all the way. If you try to spin it, you still get two little holes in there.
I haven't built on it yet. I was lazy. Plus, Eric had a relatively fresh build on it. And look, it's a fucking Petri.
What
did I call it before?
That is a Petri. That's pretty Petri.
Are those
Life is Petri.
Are those them claptons you got on there?
No, it's actually just it's a very thin, like 5 or 6 wrap 22 gauge build.
So no Clapton factor.
I'm not a fan of Claptons on the Max. I used to fuck with the Clapton on the Narda for a bit, but
yeah,
I might slap some parallels on here. We'll see. But
the Heroin is a Fritzy.
It makes me miss my velocity. I'll say that.
Yep.
Cisco. Do you have any V2 still laying around? I'll get one from you.
Holla at your boy.
I'll drive over and pick it up myself.
For real.
But it's been a bad Addy though. Actually, I forgot. I found it on eSiggity. Where we at? Druga Vape by Og Vape. Druga RDA by Og Vape. It is $32 on eSiggity.
I just thought that was a weird ass name.
eSiggity.
It comes.
No, Druga.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of you know about this Addy in chat, you know, because I don't. It's not a bad Addy. $32, I think, is very reasonable. I'll drop the link in chat. I like eSiggity. I don't know if Masty or Angsty has ordered from them before, but they usually
I've ordered from them.
They usually run pretty dang Black Friday sales, so I like eSiggity. They sell the Billow.
They do. Actually, and they did. They sent us the V3 back in the day, the Billow V3.
So they're good people. Ooh, these have the Ultim tips. Oh, no.
Yeah, how can you make that Addy even uglier?
Well, this one actually, something I realized. I didn't put it on because I don't think I have any ones that match, but my double helix design caps.
Oh, aren't those like 810 drip tips or something like that?
I don't know.
They've got a name.
Kennedy size. They fit the Goon. They fit this. So this is the same as the Kennedy, the drip tip spec.
There you go.
Whatever the fuck that is. My
That's cool.
friends in chat.
You did manage to make that even uglier by putting that blue one on there.
Hey, shut the fuck up. Don't be hating on the purple.
No, that one looks awesome on other mods. I'm just saying that with the orange, not so good.
Well, I have the. Oh wait, I have this one. No, this has Snowdrift on it. I'm not putting it on anything else right now.
I just read a thread where this guy was saying he's had a Vapor's tongue for 6 months, and someone in the comments,
dude, drink some water.
Wait, someone in the comments told him to rub coffee grounds on his tongue.
Rub what?
Coffee grounds on his tongue.
Just
like what? If he did that, that might be the problem. Shit's all stuck up in your freaking tongue. Anything he eats, it just gets neutralized, but the coffee grounds.
Yeah. Somebody was just talking about eSiggity shipping, about how fast it is, and it's true. I'm pretty sure they're in Hawaii, right?
They are, and their shit ships fast, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, even all the way out here.
When I ordered my Billow V2 or whatever it was, I ordered early in the morning on Black Friday, and it shipped that day and got to me on Monday or Tuesday from Hawaii, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't screw around. They definitely get stuff boxed up and out.
I realize.
Look up. So they're still talking about your story, Masty, in chat. And Jason Hunt said, look up hairy tongue. I don't think I want to look up hairy tongue.
No, me neither.
No, thank you.
But I've seen the video, being blasted and posted everywhere of the guy's hands who has like hundreds of holes that are bleeding, and it's a makeup artist that did that. And if you watch the right video at the end, she takes a wood dowel and scrapes it completely off, and it's pretty awesome. So stop spreading that garbage. So I'm not gonna go look at the hairy tongue. I mean, somebody licked something they shouldn't have,
or something they should have.
Maybe they should have.
Well, I don't know. They can get around that hole that goes. Then you got to watch that. So.
So here's one big thing I was going to talk about tonight. Are you ready? Are you prepared?
Do it.
So this has been a thing for a year or two, and I have pushed back against it over and over and over again.
Ultim? I know.
No, not Ultim. It's kind of it might be worse than that. So ordered some of this stuff.
Sweet spot.
Titanium.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody in the chat is going to freak out. So if you've been watching the show long enough, you know that I went round and round and round and round and round and round and round with temperature limiting stuff throughout all of our, our DNA testing through with Evolve and all that kind of stuff. I kept trying over and over and over again to like it. And then later, when people started using titanium wire, we saw, and I think Massey showed the video, and this was like a year ago, somebody using titanium wire and pulsed it too hot, and it wired it out, right? Started flaking out shit. In fact, I think you may have done it.
I did it, yeah.
That's what I thought. So, even though you've got these guys that proselytize and are basically zealots for the sweet spot stuff, and they said it's different. I remember a long time ago, the guy Ari came on ClickBang and talked about it with another guy that's a materials, not an expert. I think he does testing. Watched that again because I watched it when it came out. When I watched it again and then I started doing some other research, I was like, okay, if they've covered this cleaning thing and polishing thing on the outside of their wires as well as they say they have, maybe at least I'll look at it, right? I was okay, fine, I'll look at it. So I ordered it. Came in a little packet like this and wrapped it up. I was prepared to hate this because I didn't want to like it. So I wrapped it up and I put it in the Haku on the DNA75. Loaded up their TCR profile that they give you to download, and applied it. And I didn't like a few things about it out of the gate. So it comes in these little like Ziploc little baggies, and when you get it out of there, it comes with a little kind of in my opinion ridiculously, it comes with a thing of, God, I can't even get it out of here. Comes with a thing of like cotton. It gives a little thing, and it's like tied off, right, on two sides. You kind of untie one side so you can get a thing, and then you're left with this garbage, which is obnoxious. So I cut off, what I thought I might need. I wrapped the coil up, and I started down the slow pulsing and all that stuff that you got to do. It was turning colors, and it was turning blue and purple and shit, which I don't really like. And the stainless kind of does that a little bit too. Finished wrapping it up, and I had like this 4-inch section hanging off the side of it, which kind of pissed me off because that little packet of wire is kind of fucking expensive, and I'm not used to thinking about how much wire I use. I just pull off 6 or 8 inches and wrap it up and cut my leads and be done. That actually matters because that's expensive, so that was irritating. Wicked it up and vaped it. And it seemed like it was working. I didn't vape it. I was, pulsing it with liquid on it and pulsing it and seeing how things were working and, playing around with all the shit, all the temperature limiting stuff that you can do now through eScribe. And then at some point I satisfied myself that there's not going to be hot spots or whatever in there, and I vaped it. And I purposefully went with Get Pissed because it does well at low temperatures, which is where I had it pretty, set pretty low. And I figured with something fruity, I would be able to tell flavor-wise, what would be different, right? So I got that set to kind of vape very similarly in temperature to my to an Exoset, which is a regular ass Canthol in it, and vaped it. I didn't find too much difference about it, boys. There wasn't a whole lot of flavor difference. I really don't think that there was. Now, that said, I used it for a little while. It did seem like it was working, and I do want to show you. And I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And now that eScribe is on the Mac, woo! I can actually show you. So let's pull over here and start my screen share, and pop this thing in here. Now, what I want to show you that I found kind of interesting, and to its credit, this is something I want to say that's a positive that this thing can do. we're connecting and downloading our settings. It's on another window. Sorry, you probably can't see that. And here we go. So you can see I've got manly vaping, which is just, wattage. And then over here, we've got
Superset vaping.
SSV, Superset Vaping 0.04. And we've got it set up. But what I wanted to show you was the device monitor. Because after all the testing that I and others have done through the temperature limiting stuff, when they were still kind of breaking in with the DNA 75, and the DNA 200, and the DNA 50, and the DNA 60, I did a lot of testing on here, even though I didn't really care for the vape. I still wanted to help, kind of get the numbers out and get the firmware where it needed to be. And even though you build it the way it's supposed to be built and whatever, you never quite see a terribly smooth curve, at least early on in the process, on temperature. But this stuff, let me take a drag. So watch the red. Oh, I need to click on myself so if Masty or somebody moves, it doesn't pop out, because obviously this is moving pretty fast. So you see right now we're set at 460 because, well, I got Railcracker in there. It needs to be a little warmer. So watch that. We're set at 460 line. So we'll watch it. It basically comes right up and hits and stays really consistent at that temperature. That is unusual to me, in my opinion. You often don't see that with a lot of these temperature limiting wires. So, like I said, even though I was ready to not like this thing, I was pretty impressed at how consistent, and that was pretty quick out of the gate. It was hitting the temperature and staying there and not bumping too badly. And I think that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty slick. I'm going to take another drag here, so you can see how it goes with a real drag. And you can see it kind of backing off here, as it warms up, cools down with how I'm pulling on it, but also it's getting warmer itself, so it's going down in power. This is your voltage, the teal color here. So let's pause that so you can see, just to kind of keep that up. So I think that's pretty slick, and I have to give it some credit. This stuff does seem like, if you like the temperature limiting things, I think it's pretty cool. The other thing that, in case you haven't seen the way titanium in general, and also definitely the sweet spot stuff works, my cold ohms is at 0.3442 ohms right now. And you can see it's where it starts, but then as you take a drag, it increases and then sort of sits tight at 0.67. So as you, this happens with all temperature limiting wire, but this is just a very, it's a steep and then flat kind of curve, which is pretty slick. Most other things are kind of going a little wonky and not quite as smooth as this, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I'm trying real hard here, boys. I don't like temperature limiting. You know what? You know I don't like temperature limiting, but I did feel like I needed to give this a good shot, and I'm trying. At the end of the day, am I gonna continue to run this in temperature limiting? Probably not. No, because Kanthal is just easier in 100 different ways. But I do feel like I need to show this and show how flat and how consistent this wire is. And by the way, the reason this is able to stay here as consistent is related to this resistance, right? When it's putting up an amount of power that's going to be, where it needs to be, when this resistance is staying put, it makes it a lot easier on the device to do that. And I think that has a lot to do with the consistency of the material and how they have cleaned it. So one of the other reasons that I didn't mention a minute ago, the reasons that I wanted to test this thing is because, and we talked about this a while back, if you buy your Kanthal, I have found personally, if I buy my Kanthal somewhere cheap, and I've done that in the past, absolutely. Some site has some big Black Friday sale or whatever, and you buy Kanthal that's cheap and you don't know where it comes from, I have found your coils get rusty like that real quick. And I never really thought about it for, a long time. And then all of a sudden I realized, I'm like, I feel like I used to, back when I was buying Timco, or from Kidney Puncher rather, which sells proper Kanthal, like Sandvik Kanthal. when I buy from them, I never had to replace my coils that often. When I was using this other brand, I do. Like after a week or two or whatever, like the coils got this like gray sheen on, and then would straight up just start turning rusty, like get like this red tint to it. It was not okay. So I'd pull it out.
Coils, angsty.
What's that?
Because you don't brush your shit.
No, that was with brushing and washing it and like cleaning it out. Like it would, even after you cleaned it out, it would like get the scale on it. That happened to me
with the killer custard. I actually had to rebuild my Narda again because of it. But with my usual run-of-the-mill shit, like Pist, Abolishment, I mean, personally, I get decent mileage out of the cheaper stuff, but
I started getting really picky about it. When I noticed one time that it happened, I had this red tinge to it. It really creeped me out. I didn't like that. And then I started thinking through it. I'm like, and I know from wrapping a bunch of coils and wrapping, the tri-hard coils and all that sort of stuff, when you get sometimes you get spots on a wire that will it'll give you a little hot leg or a hot point till you brush it out and you pulse it out, and eventually it's kind of like smooths over and like lights up evenly. And I really do feel that had something to do with the surface finishing on your wire. And also, if you've ever taken some of the cheap stuff and taken a little alcohol swabs thingies, like apparently I'm out. No, there we go. Like a little alcohol pad or whatever. If you take the length of your wire that you're about to wrap and just pinch it in that tab and pull it through and look, there's often some schmoo in there, right? There's often some nasty stuff in there. And I didn't really think about that too much until I talked to Peter Gatt, the guy who makes that cool port, the little all-in-one. When I spoke to him, he mentioned doing that, and this was a while back, but he mentioned doing that, and I started doing it. I'm like, holy shit, there's definitely some lube there from I assume the drawing process when they're pulling the wire out. Anyway, so I've been doing that for a long time too, and that did help as well. But anyway, that was one of the things. The reason I wanted to try the Sweet Spot thing is because that's one of their features, is they talk about the cleaning process and the annealing process that they put this thing through to make the wire very consistent across the surfacing. So there's that. But so I was ready to kind of come in here and say this until Will, I think yesterday, the day before, I was talking to William, and he said try a bakery in it, like rail cracker. And I was like, okay, fine. So just before the show, I re-wicked, and I was gonna try that, right? So I pulled my my Get Pissed wick out, trashed it, and saw. And have you ever pulled out your coil, your wick, and there's still like a surface tension of liquid left on your coils, right? I mean, there's a little bit of liquid there. Like, we're in temperature limiting mode. I'll just pulse that out. As soon as I hit the button, as soon as I hit that button, I was expecting it to do what it normally would do, which is, get warm and then slow itself down, right? Because it got hot. Yeah, it didn't happen. As soon as I hit the thing, one coil that had been previously working fine all weekend went red hot. Pow! Skrrrat! Just like that. It didn't go boom. It went boom. It didn't go boom, but what it did go is red hot instantly. Yeah. And obviously that's a problem even with this stuff. And they say there's a warning on their site that says you don't pulse till it gets red, cherry red hot. If you do that, it can form bad shit, right? The stuff that's bad for you, the reason that we don't use titanium in the first place, you just don't do that, right? So that bothered the hell out of me. So I went and quenched it and brushed it and got it all clean again, which is what they say that you can do before it fails or when it fails. And then re-wicked and used and put rail cracker in there. So I've been kind of like A/B testing here with a mech build and a titanium build between the two. Again, I got this thing warmed up to where it's kind of both. They're good. I think it does taste good. I don't know that it tastes any better. It definitely tastes a little different than this. But that hot leg dough. So there's a lot of people that are really they're really trusting this wire so much they're using it in mech mods, right? Because they know you saw that curve and resistance and how flat it gets when you start pulsing it, right? And you take a nice big drag and it goes hip hop, straight over.
Skrrrat.
So, and they're trusting that in a mech mod. And I can understand that because of that curve and how consistent this wire is. And I was actually ready to even say that on the show. I was like, well, according to the e-scribe, but watching how this wire performs, maybe that's better than the way I thought. Until I got that hot leg in temperature limiting mode with juice on it.
Yeah.
I'm not ready to crucify these guys because I don't think they recommend using it in mech mods. But that's why I don't think I would be comfortable doing so. You are unimportant, says put it on a mech pussy. No, that's okay. I'll use Canthal, which stays exactly the same resistance.
Fucking gay.
Yeah, it's just and who is this? The real Ace Murder says Ari's a mad scientist. Guy knows his shit. I don't doubt it. I agree. He is a smart guy. I've listened to him talk at a couple of different places and interviews. He is a smart guy. And to be honest, I was thinking about reaching out and having him on to have him talk about this. I'm okay with doing that. But that leg that happened to me when I was at that point, I was kind of being converted, and when that happened, I don't know, man, that creeped me out. I think I am going to recommend, if you want to use titanium, I do think Sweet Spot is way better than any other material I have seen in a temperature limiting mod. I don't think I can in good conscience recommend it on a mech.
Yeah, but I can tell you right now, they'll blame it on the mod, or they'll blame it on you not having the cotton in it.
Maybe, but it shouldn't matter.
I know. I
mean, you can burn it dry. That's what they say, right? You burn it dry.
Yeah.
Don't matter.
Dude,
Yeah.
keep it this Skrrrat.
Yeah. So there's that. Again, I'm not getting out the crosses or anything, but meh. That's what I did want to say that in the temperature limiting mode, I haven't seen a better wire to use. I really haven't. This thing, it was relatively easy to set up, and it seems to just perform really well on a DNA75C. So there's that. I wanted to talk about it. I'm trying to be careful because I swear to God, there's going to be people like with crosses out front of my lawn. Marching down. These guys are rabid. These guys that love the sweet spot stuff. Man, they're rabid.
Yeah.
So because they do their juice like this. They go.
Hold on, let me click on you. You're doing a thing. Hold on. All right, go.
Like this. They're like this is the sweet spot people. Just go to a shop. They're like. And they put a little bit on the hand, and they're just like, fucking, they Joe Allen that shit. They're like,
They snort it.
fucking Mass, do you have the clip of guy?
Oh, so somebody actually asked the question that I was meaning to address beforehand, and I forgot. So thank you, Red. No, the coil did not go wonky when I pulled it out. It was actually, I was very gentle with it because I didn't want to mess it up. It was a spaced coil.
Shaky enough.
Close enough. It was it's a spaced coil. There was lots of room between the two. No coils were touching each other. I checked before I fired it. So no, but it was good. It's a good question, but that unfortunately was not the case this time.
Shaky enough.
Oh wait, hold on. We get the little donkey thing, or the big one. Except this doesn't do that.
You're yes, angsty. Please get your little pigs outside of their blanket.
Ooh, don't forget to go watch the Ideal Hope Show. Now with 100% less Craig. Boo.
100% less Craig. What is he doing? Is he retired?
I think he's basically retired. That's sad.
No, he's just tired.
He's just tired. Real talk, though, I actually already miss Craig. I hope he stays around the interwebs. And I'm okay if he's not on the show as long as he sticks around and participates.
The average age of the Ideal Home Show went from 72 to 50 now.
He messaged me and he said something and I was like, "What? You're not on the show anymore?" He's like, "No." He's like, "I retired," and I'm like, "Why?" what are you gonna do with your time? He's like, oh, you know, stroll around Derby.
He's gonna start tracking his steps, man.
Oh God, please no.
Oh, by the way,
no. I saw the watch. I saw the
Speaking of whom, did you see the message that the understudy posted in our chat? He said that Craig got a nicer send off from his co-host than he did.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, and I asked. I said, you didn't leave. He's like, well, yeah. I'm like, well, you didn't tell us you were leaving, so we didn't give you a freaking send off. I was like, so I sent him a picture of this. I'm like, here's your send off.
I was just like, whatever. I'll send him a milk bone.
No, you got to send him a garment milk bone.
There you go. So the Nichols pure shit. That's true. I don't think nickel's very good for you. I mean, that's all we used on the DNA 40, right?
Have some Nichols with nickel.
I don't personally think nickel is a good idea to vape pure nickel. Personally, I just think it's a bad idea. The other thing that got me, speaking of which, about the different temperature limiting things, is, and I think it's even including Kanthal, is you can apparently weigh, if you have a very precise scale, you can weigh your coils after you use them, like when they're new and then after you use them. And there's apparently a detectable mass lost when you vape things, except for Sweet Spot. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Shit's going somewhere, boys.
Can it gain mass from vaping too much ethyl maltol?
Yeah.
Yes.
You start naming MOSFETs on yourself.
I am just short because we've seen some funky ass coils.
Dude, I showed you what my fucking my shit looked like vaping killer custard for a week. I was re-wicking every goddamn day.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Alligator Alley from Stash, and I vaped like 30 mils in the same cot, and I was like,
yeah.
So nice. I could still vape it bone dry white, like beautiful. Keep
Ace Murder, he said he'll come on, reach out to him. I'm actually thinking about it. We'll talk to the boys to see if they'd be interested in talking about it. We'll do that offline. But again, that's one of the reasons why I'm not gonna, go crazy about it, because I really do think he knows his stuff. And I just think that there's one use that in my opinion, that's not appropriate. But that's an opinion, and it's unfortunately reinforced by something that happened to me using it by the book. It doesn't make me very comfortable. But I would be interested in hearing about it, because like he obviously is a smart guy and he knows a lot of stuff about it. So maybe if you guys would be interested in it, let me know, and we'll take your input into consideration as well. Good. So
I don't know if you saw, but iJoy, out of all companies, is coming out with a 21700 and 2700 squonk box mod.
Right.
And it's called the Capo, or Capo, CAPO. There is it's called one of those. So anyways, so here's a picture of it. Lamborghini not included. That thing is fucking massive.
Oh damn, boy, that's thick.
The size of a squonk bottle.
That's thick with 2 C's, man.
Dude, that's a
30 mil. That's a fucking 30 mil, dude. That's 30 mil bottle if it's in there. Anyway, so that's called the Capo, and it's a squonk rail, and brought to you by none other than iJoy, and they have different colors, as you can see.
Wow.
With different Lambos.
With their matching Lambos?
Yeah, Lambos not included.
Oh.
So, yeah, there you go. Funky.
So thirsty.
Funky. So I just got a kick out of, the size of that thing. So, and it looks like it's using the PTFE bottles that are hard as shit to squeeze.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it kind of looks like
that bottles.
What's that little bottle? Is it the ice squeeze or whatever, with the little cap on the back for the battery? Kind of looks like that. Well, it kind of looks like this thing.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if they're using some kind of sleeve to get the different size battery. But anyways, there you go.
The firing button looks very comfortable.
Yeah, we're in neutral position. It looks like you could squonk with the pinky too. So
in the ball's in the right spot. That's cool.
Yeah, cause shit. I mean, you could probably put pinky and ring finger down there. I mean, it's big, good size mod.
Sometimes they want that.
Man, there you go. So that's the capo. So, I think it had like a fucking 50, 60 mil Addy on the top. Who knows? But
I also saw this thing up that I was going to bring up tonight. Let's pull this thing up. It's a post that I saw on Reddit that was reposting a thing from Vapor Talk by a person named Hastiness Sexuberant.
Okay.
Which is a funny name, but it's kind of going down and listing the reasons why we don't use ceramic coils.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So he pulls apart a couple of different coils and kind of shows this is why. What does he say? I'm trying to remember the name of the. Yeah, I got this email from UL about ceramic coils. What do you think? So down here, he kind of breaks apart a couple different coils, that are on the market, and shows, and they really breaks them apart. Shows you, magnifying up to 100 times, the crystalline structure of these, of the silica in the ceramic coils, and how fragmented and, particulates and stuff. This is stuff we've been talking about, or we talked about back when ceramic coils were a thing. This is why we don't recommend using them. I mean, this is all that shit broken up.
Oh wait, is that picture you have there? Is that what your wall looks like after the fucking vape donut blows up?
Yeah. No, this stuff is. I mean, look at that garbage. Look at this right here. That's disgusting.
Mega just said he loves to break dust in his lungs.
Anyway, if you're interested in reading this, because the guy breaks down quite a bit of stuff, we'll grab this link and put it in the side chat for you guys to review at your pleasure. Yeah.
Just real quick, since we're talking about since I just talked about the 21700s and the 2700s,
yeah,
Mooch has his bench test results that he put up a few days ago, and he did the iJoy 40 amp 37. It's 3,750 mAh, and he says it's a hugely overrated battery, but better than the NCR 2700B.
Wait, hold on. How many mAhs were in there?
3,750.
That's a bunch of garbage, because you're only going to get like 2,600 out of there. And my freaking VTC6 is recharged to 2,000, and they're a fraction of the size.
Yeah, and the he's got the continuous current testing chart that I'm going to pull up right now, so you can see that. The Mooch theme? Yeah.
Yeah, can you actually play it?
Mooch.
So just for giggles?
So there's the there's the, hey, look at it, watermarked image. So there's that one.
That's awesome.
And let's see, he's got the other one on there too. Yeah, so it's like 3.7. It looks like it starts dying. So let's go to the other one. There's the second. But anyways, in his comments, he says that 0.5 amp continuous, the cell delivered about 3,600 mAh to 3,700 mAh, depending on the, 37,000 mAh. 37,000, Jesus, I can't speak tonight. 3,700 mAh. Depending on the cell, he's rating it at 3,650. So he has a comparison list.
Yeah, but look where you're discharging it down to, though. When you say that
right,
how many mAhs it's kicking out, it goes down by the time it hits 3.5.
Yeah,
which is where we're going to be able to use it.
Up, but Let's see if we can go down to there. There we go.
Yeah, I mean, I bet it's only discharging a fraction of that, where we can use it.
So he's got his comparison against the Sanyo cells. So he's got all that on his link, which I am going to post in chat.
Right.
And oh, that's right.
What?
I don't think I have off, which is why I can't.
Yeah, that's okay. Anxie can post it. It's inside chat there, Anxie. You can post it in chat.
Yeah.
So there's a link to it. So check that out. Also, anybody in California, let me switch my camera. So tomorrow, the 19th at 5:30 p.m. at the Oakland City Hall Council Chambers on the 3rd floor in the Frank Ogawa Plaza in Oakland, California, there is the Oakland Flavor Band hearing going on. And this is the second and final hearing that they're going to have on this. And they need people to show up. So if you're out there, go check it out. It's the final Flavor Band hearing that they're having, again, tomorrow, Tuesday the 19th at 5:30 p.m. At the Oakland City Hall Council Chambers on the 3rd floor. So, if you are looking for information, Anxie, there's the link. You can post that and, fight that crap. So, in other advocacy news like that, this was, I don't know if we talked about this last week or not, but Connecticut, the governor is proposing a 75% excise tax on wholesale purchases. And vape shop owners are saying, there's going to be massive loss at the B&M stores. So that's going on too. Keep an eye on that. And, people have been behind it. Well, actually, so there's an update to that. It seems that the tax was dropped. That's kind of quick. So I'm not sure. I just saw the update on that. So yeah, I think it's still in limbo. There's another article that was up.
What you say? Meganox just said in chat, and I wholeheartedly agree. Show up and don't cloud comp that shit, please. Yes.
Yeah, seriously.
Be a fucking
so this article that was updated on the 14th, but it still doesn't specifically say what they're going to do with it. So it might be one of those bills that kind of, goes under the radar since they're proposing it. So. There's a few articles saying that they dropped it. So interesting. Man, that would have been 45-cent tack on even actual cigarettes. Wow, that's crazy. But so yeah, keep an eye on that. And the Oakland one, we put the link on side chat.
Yes.
So check that stuff out.
Yes, I did.
O's and jellyfish tend to impress politicians, though, so rock that shit.
Gross.
Oakland, you said that means Stefan Didak has to leave his battle station to go.
Yes. Yep.
He has to go and lather up on the sunblock so it doesn't shine like a diamond and blind all the drivers.
No hovering.
No hovering. You got anything to talk about tonight there, Ahmed?
No, I mean, I talked about the Addy I got from the bowl busted, and you heard I said my bowls were spared from busting.
No, I meant like news.
News, nah, I mean, nah.
What's the score?
17-7 Detroit.
Yeah, there's another post that I was reading earlier about the guy talking about minors trying to buy kids. It's basically kids passing off as 18 on local listings. Basically trying to buy used stuff on whether it's on eBay or Craigslist or something like that. You know, I haven't heard a lot of. I really wonder how much the government is still doing this. But you know, for a while there, they were, you know, baiting stores and sending in miners to buy, you know, to buy anything vape related. So I'm wondering how that is going or being funded or whatever. But interesting to see that some of that has, you know, you don't hear much about that anymore. So I'm wondering if they're just doing it and we don't hear about it because they're building a case on the vape store or what. But for the longest time there, I mean, everything online, you know, some of these places, remember getting crazy. You had to provide a blood sample, a hair sample to make sure that you were of legal age. And so it's been kind of quiet in that front. But
actually, Mass, we do have a follow-up piece of news. Small one.
Do we?
Well, put this as short as possible because it's not really small, but we mentioned probably like a month or two ago that, you know, the event that got canceled, Vapor Slam.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it was about a month ago when I mentioned about it.
Yeah, so apparently, well, it's gotten to Facebook. Well, some events got canceled. Some people who bought booths haven't gotten their money back, and there's been a lot of crucifixions going on the Facebooks, and
so people still haven't gotten their money back. Interesting.
And it's kind of, I'm like, it's like I feel like we're obligated to, like, not even so much obligated, but it happens every few months, and it gets big enough that it happens to be in our purview. But yeah, it happened. The event got canceled, and we mentioned as much, and then so much has come out since, and this all blew up like over the weekend. And so,
well, it wasn't
the thread got ugly.
It wasn't so much to that it got canceled. Basically, the first one that these people, because if I remember correctly, last time I looked into this, people were mad because the grace date that you had when you paid for this stuff had already been gone and done with, because the one convention was supposed to be earlier in the year, right around April, and then they had to move it to, I guess, August, July, I don't remember, or September. And then the news came out where, no, that one's going to be canceled. So it's shifted twice, you know, and some of these people paid at the beginning of the year. So that's, yeah, I mean, they're, and even then they're going to have a hard time trying to get, I mean, you can't, I mean, I don't know how that would work. I mean, I highly doubt they paid with a credit card, but I mean, I don't know, maybe some businesses did, but
PayPal, if I guess. I think it was.
Yeah, PayPal. Yeah, that's, and yeah,
my condolences
probably going
to those who have.
You don't have much leeway with PayPal, and after like
especially because there's a like a 90-day on goods and services, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So that's sucks. You know, I don't think
this still happens. Yeah.
And you know, honestly, like for any vendor, that was a big chunk of change, and
it's not cheap. Yeah, that's right.
It's so far out too that, you know, if you're trying to budget, and you have that money set aside, and you know, you're expecting at least to be able to return that money back, not necessarily make money, because depending on where you're at and how many, you know, who's attending, you might do good, you might not. And now it's, you know, tied up for close to a year if they paid in January. So sucks. But and there's a lot of shows, you know, there's a lot of shows like that being canceled. So or pushed at least.
Yeah, I mean, well, the showcase was pushed, but that was because of a natural disaster.
Yeah,
right.
Hurricane, you know.
Just a little thing. Actually, did you see the little mod holder that some guy posted up made out of Legos?
Yes.
Here's an image of it. I thought it was pretty funny. He's got all his Star Wars crap on it.
Crap. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
crap.
No, it's true. It's definitely crap.
Crap all over the place. So, we're here at Plumes of Hazard do not condone you using kids' toys to have your vape gear in, so the kids don't think it's part of the toys. But yeah, you got Legos, yo, and a stand.
You know, you're a Southern boy when you look at that top thing. You don't think radar dish, you think fan.
Yeah, so it sounds like, does that thing reciprocate or recirculate?
Oscillate.
Oscillate.
Yeah,
It's yeah. It's got the wubs on there. Yeah.
All right. I think that's probably about all we can take tonight. I gotta go stop and think of what I've done here in those temperature limiting stuff, and probably go back to regular Cantho and Beckbots personally.
You gotta prepare for the onslaught that is the destroyers of the world coming from Facebook.
Yeah, that's right. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It was worth trying, and I'm not. I'll still toy with it a little bit more and see what it happens. But that was just my initial.
It's like the Maserati of vaping.
It's something like that.
Something like that.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out and watching. We will see you again next week. Same Plumes time, same Plumes channel. Later.
Toodaloo.
Peace.